You could argue over the last few years that there was not a worse program in college football than Kent State. It all felt hopeless, their last hire was a disaster, the program was collapsing, and the team was terrible. But somehow, someway, as we are now over halfway through the 2025 college football season, the Golden Flashes have pulled off one of the best turnarounds in all of college football. Typically, when you think about a crazy turnaround, having a 4-6 record doesn't exactly come to mind, but for Kent State, this is shocking. After beating Akron in overtime last night, the Golden Flashes have now gotten their 4th win of the 2025 season. They still have a chance at making a bowl game. You would have thought that was impossible over the last few years, but now Kent State is in a good position. They seemingly have a good coach and also have a quarterback that's a lot of fun to watch. The Golden Flashes could get a lot better in the coming years, and today I want to do a quick spotlight on them. We're going to talk about how Kent State has turned it around, who their new coach is, some of their best players, and how the season overall has gone. But before we get started, if you're a big fan of college football, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you didn't support today's video, and let me know what player, team, topic, or situation I can cover next. Now let's go ahead and get started and talk about Kent State football. So to briefly go back in time, there was a moment when Kent State football was decent, and that was under head coach Sean Lewis. He'd eventually end up leaving for the Colorado offensive coordinator position, and he is now the head coach at San Diego State. After that, Kent State decided to hire Kenny Burns as their next head coach, and this did not go according to plan. While he had done a good job coaching running backs at Minnesota, that doesn't exactly make you qualify to be the head coach at Kent State, which is in the top 3 most difficult places to win in FBS football. When he arrived in 2023, the cupboard was bare, and he only ended up winning 1 game. I mean, that is just ridiculous. It came against Central Connecticut as they beat them 38-10. Besides that, pretty much every game of the 2023 season was a blowout, as their closest game ended up being against Akron, as they lost that by 4 points. And the Zips are also horrible. Going into 2024, it seemed they were more concerned with getting paychecks, as they ended up going on the road to play against Pitt, Tennessee, and Penn State, and they got blown out in all of them. They lost 71-0 to Tennessee and 56-0 to Penn State. Just abysmal. The only close game the whole season was Week 2 against St. Francis, Pennsylvania, as they lost that game 23-17. In 2 years, Kenny Burns had gone 1-23, and many were talking about the program potentially being disbanded. Burns also ended up getting in trouble, as he was sued last year by Hometown Bank in Kent, Ohio, for having nearly $24,000 in unpaid credit card purchases, and it just seems he was not able to run the program. While he was saddened by the news, he was no longer going to be the head football coach going into 2025. Offensive coordinator Mark Carney would end up getting the interim tag, and all of a sudden, he would now have to turn around the Kent State program, and somehow, someway, he has actually pulled it off. On October 30th of 2025, he was named the head coach. Their AD said, quote, "Since taking over as interim head coach, Mark has instilled belief, togetherness, and a winning culture into our football program. The way he has positively impacted the team, this department, this campus, and this community, he earned the right to lead the program." This is one of the underrated stories in college football in 2025, as so far this season, Kent State is still in contention for a bowl game. Honestly, that is absurd, and I thought Kent State would maybe win 2 games maximum this year, and those would probably come against UMass and Merrimack. While they did struggle in Week 1 against Merrimack, they would end up winning by 4, and then they played 3 ranked teams in 4 games, as they got blown out by Texas Tech, blown out by Florida State, and shut out by Oklahoma. That was tough, but there was some hope. They'd only lost by 3 points to Buffalo, proving that this was a more competitive team than in years past. But since those paid games, they've actually been solid. They've won 3 of their last 5 games, including a 42-6 blowout victory over UMass, a 24-21 victory over Bowling Green, and then a 42-35 win over Akron last night on the road. I can't remember the last time they won a game on the road, so this is a big deal. But it didn't go according to plan. Kent State got off to a great start, but would blow an 18-point lead in the 4th quarter, but luckily, in overtime they'd end up getting it done, as they would win the wagon wheel rivalry game. Kent State now got their 4th win of the season, and their 2 remaining games come against Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. I'm not going to put my money on Kent State making a bowl game. The 2 teams left on the schedule aren't exactly juggernauts. Central Michigan is currently 5-4, and Northern Illinois is 2-7. At minimum, I expect Kent State to be competitive in both of these matchups, as in their other MAC games, they've also been competitive. They lost by 3 against Buffalo, lost by 4 against Ball State, and they ended up beating UMass, Bowling Green, and Akron. Their one blowout came against Toledo on the road, which is typically near the top of the MAC. But no matter what, Kent State has had an incredible season, and Coach Carney deserves to be the guy of the future. At quarterback, they are led by a player named Drew DeShields, who has given them an element at quarterback they haven't had in a while. He was the number 110 quarterback in the country coming out of West Branch High School in Ohio, and so far in 2025, DeShields has thrown for 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns and only has 2 picks. They have a running back tandem in Gavin Garcia and Jordan Newman, who've both combined for nearly 700 yards and 3 touchdowns. It does seem like Kent State is doing more work in the passing game than in the running game, but either way, they've been competitive and they have a chance at going 6-6 or at minimum 5-7. Even just 4 wins is a major victory for them, and we'll see what happens. Will some of these players get plucked in the portal? Maybe. But it does seem like Kent State has the right coach moving forward, things are going in the right direction, and they're at least competitive again, which I think is cool. But what do you guys think? If you're a Maction fan, what do you think of Kent State? If you're a Flashes fan, how have you guys turned it around? And what's another video I could cover next? Be sure to let me know down below, leave a like if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you're new, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. Hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.